What's going on, everyone? It's my back again. Everton have just somehow... I usually say it's Mike back again, and then I say with my co-host, we'll beat you up. I say something silly for you, but you've just chipped in, you silly twat.
Go.
Everton have just somehow lost to Spurs 2-1, a game that we didn't dominate the ball, but we had more chances, and I definitely think we were worth a point, if not 3 in the end. Few talking points. Richarlison scores against his old club. To be honest, the first 20 minutes were frustrating because Son had Nathan Patterson's pants down for the first 20 minutes. Barney gets injured. But, John, talk us through this. Do you know what, actually? Let's start with the end of the game. Should we start at the end of the game? Because it got tasty.
Well, it did get tasty. And the thing is, I'm going to go to the beginning of the game now. Now you've said that. I think Everton didn't deserve to get beat there. On no way on God's given earth did Everton deserve to come away from there with no points at all whatsoever. Minimum was a point each. We could have won it. We done enough. We had more chances than Tottenham. Yeah, they controlled the ball. They were always going to do that at home, Michael, against us. They were always going to have more possession. Everton lost that game in the first 20 minutes. Garner guy got injured and the defence was everywhere the first 20 minutes. But again, for the whole game, and I'll say this again, and I'm getting bored of saying this now on here, our fullbacks get caught out of position time and time and fucking time again. We get dragged in when that's the centre-half's job, and you can't afford to do that with teams the likes of Tottenham, Michael, when they've got Son on the wing. Patterson was getting dragged in. Mikalenko lost his runner. I think it was for their first goal coming in behind, or I think they had a chance from it. But then the game sort of evened out then. There was a bit of lull in the game and Everton got into it. They were the better team for, the last 20, 25 minutes of the first half. And then the second half, I thought Everton were the better team as well. Just don't know how we've come away with nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Let's talk about the defending for the first goal. If we're going to talk about the start, let's talk about the defending, because how does that happen?
They were at 6s and 7s, weren't they? The way the balls come in, no one knew what they were doing. No one knew whose man they were picking up. It was as if they didn't know where the ball was. And it was a shit show. It was an absolute shit show, that first goal. Second goal wasn't much better, to be fair. But then I think the defence got their heads together, and we regrouped as a team. I think we played then with the performance that we've been putting in the last few weeks, obviously barring the Carabao Cup game.
Yeah.
But defensively again, and I think what it is, I don't know whether you agree with this, every game Everton play, we always have that spell of 15, 20 minutes where our defence is all over the fucking shop. It's as if we need something to kickstart us at the back to do our fucking jobs properly.
Yeah.
Every game that happens.
It frustrates me, to be honest. It frustrates me because against Fulham on Tuesday, it gives them the confidence. Against Spurs today, it gives them the confidence. And look, as you rightly say, John, Spurs are going to have chances. Kulinevsky, Son, the way that they play quite expansive. They play the ball through the lines quickly, aggressively. They're a good team. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're not going to concede goals to Spurs, because we probably will. But
most teams will.
Exactly. And that's my point. Most teams will. It's what we do at the other end. And yet again today, we had chances. There was a Calvert-Lewin header in the first half. He should score. He absolutely should score. And that's now probably 2 or 3 of these headers he's had where he should score and he hasn't. And it's frustrating me now.
I think with the likes of Calvert-Lewin with that chance, I'll let you carry on now, but my input on that is all he's got to do as a centre-forward, Michael, is use the pace of the ball. Because it was a great cross.
It was.
The only place where he could head that and not score was where he headed it. If he uses the pace on the ball and glances it, it goes the opposite side to where the keeper is, and it goes in. He should be taking them chances. That's what he's there for. And this is what I keep saying week in, week out about Calvert-Lewin. He should be scoring them chances. You know, it was a great ball in, and then I think we had one just after that as well. Another great ball in, which we didn't take advantage of.
We did, and I actually didn't think our set pieces were brilliant today either. You know, some of the corners were a bit long. We said the same on Tuesday actually after the Fulham game. You know, when they were playing it short, and then in the end it would end up at our goalkeeper rather than going in the box. It was just. I'm not liking the way that they're trying to do set pieces at the minute because it's not really making sense to me. I didn't think the wingers were particularly good. I thought Dwight McNeil, right, and I'll be honest, he looks like he's on his last legs. He looks like he's got no pace. He can keep the ball. He keeps the ball well, but he's not
doing nothing with it.
It's confusing. And then the substitution, I know we're moving on a little bit and I will talk about another one, but the substitution for Danjuma for Harrison, I didn't get because
McNeil should have been the one.
Harrison didn't have a great game, but he did play a couple of lovely balls, you know, that outside the boot into the box. And, you know, there was chances there that he sort of created. I didn't see loads from Dwight McNeil today, and I do think he needs a rest.
I thought that the substitution was wrong. I think he took the wrong winger off, in my opinion. I think it should have been McNeil off.
Yeah, agreed. What about Gomez today? Because I feel like we need to talk about Gomez, but
he was fantastic. Yeah, when he come on, Michael, it was like he's never been away. You know, he slowed to get the pace of the game down. I think you have to, and we've spoke about this. Sometimes that can work in your favour. Yeah. Sometimes it can't. It does depend who you're playing against. When you're playing against the likes of Tottenham, you need someone in there like him to take the pace out the game with the forwards they've got attacking you. It's exactly what he done. He played some great balls through. He calmed the game. He done some great passes. He done one, you know, for Calvert-Lewin's goal. Yeah. Split opinions on Twitter about that. Thought it was a great ball through. Whether it was a foul or not, it was still a great ball that he played through to Calvert-Lewin. And credit where credit's due, Calvert-Lewin finished it well. But I think when Gomez come on, I thought he was the best player up for us.
Let's talk about that goal. So I'm going to give my opinion, and then we'll see if you agree. But I actually do think it was a foul.
I do.
Okay. I was worried we were going to have an argument. Right. So there's a lot of Everton fans on Twitter, and look, opinions over opinions, but a lot of people are saying, look, it's very soft, he goes over. He does catch his standing leg, like he does. Yeah. Now, whether we should go over or not, in this day and age, that is a foul. I don't agree with it because 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been a foul. It would have been a get up, you know, but now, today, unfortunately, it is a foul.
It is a foul. And the thing is, Michael, I think a lot of the eruptions that it's caused on Twitter is because the linesman was very close to it. The referee was very close to it. And none of them give the decision to Tottenham. None of them give a foul. In game speed, and I said this to Ben on Twitter, in game speed, it looks like he goes over soft. And I think that's why the linesman and the referee haven't given the foul. When VAR check it, obviously they can slow it down. As you quite rightly say, Gomez doesn't touch the ball and he does make contact with his standing foot. For me, it's a foul. Reverse it. And, you know, if it happens to us, we're wanting a foul for that. If we look at the VAR, you know, and we see that happen, we're wanting a foul for that. So, unfortunately, in my opinion, it was a foul. But regardless of that, I thought it was a great through ball by Gomez. I thought it was a really good finish by Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed. And then, right, the other substitution that I think we need to talk about, and the actual player himself, is Amadou Onana. So on Tuesday, when Danjuma come on, he impressed me and he created more than I would argue McNeil or Harrison did in that game. And I actually think you could say the same thing about him in this game, but there is a but.
And the but is he's very, very, very greedy. So greedy. I mean, there was one or two opportunities we had there when The ball, and there was some great balls played over the top to him today. Everton played some really good football, some long passes, right to the man. Good control by Danjuma. That's what you'll get with Danjuma. He's got good close control, and he'll always try and wriggle out of space and all that to get the cross in when he can be asked and when he's not in that greedy mode. Because I thought today there was one or two opportunities there where he had so much space in front of him, and he was drawing the Tottenham players towards him. And we had one or two runners running through the middle, and he's only got to square it, and it makes the game 2-2. But no, he goes for the fucking glory and fucks it.
I always like, when it comes to wingers and forwards, I always sort of lie on the area of caution, because when I go back to when I used to play, and there'll be kids and there'll be fathers and whatever and mums and daughters who watch this, and they'll be like, yeah, I remember that. There's times where you're in a situation and the only thing you can think about is shooting. It's like
the glory.
You're there. It's that moment. And that moment today for him was, I'm playing against my old club, a club that didn't treat me very well. I'm not being treated great at Everton, I'd argue. He's sitting on the bench a lot. This is an opportunity for me to prove a point to both of you. And there was moments, there was that bit of skill over on the left-hand side where he skins Kulineski and I can't remember who the right back was. I think it was Porro. And he rolls the ball and then megs the Tottenham player and runs through them both. It's great skill, great footwork.
We got a corner off that.
And we did get a corner off that. But for me, the opportunity was, and look, whether he was offside or not, I don't know, because I haven't watched it back since. But the opportunity was the one where he rattles the bar. And I know he rattles the bar, but he literally can play that ball across the box. And there was the other opportunity where he blazes it over the top. I don't know if he could have made that pass because there was two Tottenham players in the middle. But what I would have liked to have seen is him try and make that pass.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, where he's rattled the bar, me and you would do that. There's an opportunity there. There's no one on me. We're going to have a go. A bit of composure. If he's got a bit of composure there and doesn't smash it, and just puts it. It is hard. I'm trying to explain how he, in my opinion, should have done it. He misses it because he smashes it. If he doesn't smash it and's got a bit more, listen, it was a great volley. Not taking nothing away from it. It was a great effort. But if he just takes a bit of the smash out of it,
the fire out of it,
and thinks about placing it more, it beats the keeper. It beats the keeper because obviously, as you put me right before, it didn't cross the line. I'd forgot about the watch. It didn't cross the line. They were talking about whether it was offside on the commentary. Then when they watched the referee, the replay back, he was onside. If he, in my opinion, he's not a team player, Danjuma, and I think this is what you were saying before. He's got a point to prove at Everton. He's got a point to prove against Tottenham. So he needs to become a team player more. He could have pulled that back instead of smashing it. He could have took a bit of the sting out of it and placed it better without smashing it. He has opportunities to play the ball across where we had a player running through the middle. So he's gone for the glory. And I can understand that. You do that, I do that. He's got points to prove. He's got points to prove. But if that was you and me playing and you done that and I was running through the middle, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. The thing is, it's weird because we're almost picking holes in performances of players. When Everton, let's be honest, in my opinion,
we're very good.
We should have won the game today.
Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the first match reaction I've done for a long time where we've been beaten. And I'm happy with the performance. Obviously, the first 20 minutes we spoke about. But obviously, we're not happy with the defeat, but we're happy with the performance. And we're happy with the fact that we should have come away with their minimum a point. and we're happy with the performance. We play like that against most teams in this league. Not many teams will beat us, and we were worried about the hangover from the other night against Fulham in the Carabao Cup. There was no hangover. First 20 minutes, you could have said, "Oh," but then after that, we clicked into gear and we were the better team.
Yeah. One player, obviously, I wanted to mention from Tuesday today was Amadou Onana. Obviously, Tuesday, I like to think that was sort of pressed into his head that maybe you don't mess about with situations, especially when football and fans are involved. How did you think he performed today?
Not great. But you always ask me about this because you know my thoughts on him. I'd love to ask.
I agree. I didn't think he had a good game again today, if I'm being honest.
Do you know what I want to see from Amadou Onana, Michael? He thinks he's. It's not. I'm not taking away the fact that he's young. It's a new league for him. You know, he's been here long enough now. He's going to be probably a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player now. He needs to do more, Michael. He should be grabbing games by the scruff of the neck, regardless of the other opposition. He should be putting himself about more. He should be trying to control the game. He should be making himself available more for the ball and doing things more when he's got it. He doesn't do enough for me, and probably going to get shot.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think the biggest thing that I can say about Onana is he's so inconsistent at the minute, because 3 weeks ago we were praising him about how much we missed him.
And the thing is as well, Michael, 3 weeks ago I'd changed my opinion on him.
And that's the point. He's almost
hot and cold.
He's splitting opinions. He's splitting opinions about whether he's good, fantastic, or average. He's not bad. Yeah. He's not bad. I'm not. He's not. He's either good, average, or brilliant. It's one or the other. And today, he was average. He just blended into that midfield. He didn't stand out. He didn't do anything that made me go, "Yeah, you're really talented youngster." And he didn't do anything that made me go, "You're a rubbish footballer." He just blended in. And the problem is, we need players like Onana to get his foot on the ball, and especially when Decore's out, to use his physicality, use them long legs, and we've seen him ball carry, we've seen him beat people, we've seen him turn. Go and do that. Get this Everton team 10, 15, 20 yards further up the pitch. We're seeing, and I hate to say this, by the way, but we're seeing Ross Barkley do it at Luton every week. Yeah. He's sitting in this deep lying midfield role. He's turning and he's going and he's dragging the whole team forward. And Luton looked like a decent team all of a sudden. So I think my problem is Onana is more than capable of that. And we sometimes see it, but I'd argue that we see it less than we should.
And I think that's why I've got the opinion of him, because we see it less than what we should. We're not seeing it enough. And this is why I think I have a split opinion of him myself, because as you said, as I've just said, I was praising him the other week, saying, "Oh yeah, this is the player I wanted to see," and I should have given him more praise. And since that, I don't see what he's give us. And listen, he's going to be a good player. He's going to be good, but I think he believes in his own hype. And I think I'll ask you a question: the way he's been playing since he's come to Everton, and he thinks he's better than what he is, in my opinion. I think a lot of people think like that. And he thinks he can go and play for the Champions League team, and he thinks he can play for a bigger team than Everton. We all know how he's come across and what he's said in the past and what have you. How many big teams are going to be watching him with his performances that he's putting in?
The problem is with football, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me where anyone ends up. I mean, Thomas Gravesen ended up at Real Madrid.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's so difficult to call these days. You've got Anthony from Ajax, and he looks awful at Man United. It's so difficult these days. If you've got a big team that are trying to sign a central midfielder, then they are completely relying on him to do the dirty work, the ball carrying, the aggressive stuff. Onana's not the player.
What is Onana?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because he's got them long legs and he can put in a fantastic challenge. We've seen it time and time again. He's put in some good slide tackles. He's winning the ball. He carries the ball well, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. So I don't know. I don't know what he is. You know, for me, he is someone that almost needs to watch players like Basuma or a Douglas
Vieira. Look at years gone by.
A Vieira, even a Roy Keane, an enforcer, someone who can command a presence because he's big, someone who can say, right, when the ball comes to me, I'm going to do something with it, whether it's a cheeky little pass, whether it's a ball carry, whether it's shoulder barging his man and getting a step ahead. It doesn't matter. Just do something. And today, I was hoping for a big reaction from Onana today. And I don't know whether it was Tottenham or Onana, but one of them stopped him doing that.
I don't think there was anything that stopped him. I thought the performance from Onana today was just what we've been watching the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think it was any worse. I don't think it was any better.
Yeah, it just blends in. Yeah. I'm going to ask you early because obviously we do have a match against Manchester City. I mean, in what, 3 days? It's not long, is it? Do you start Danjuma over Dwight McNeil? Yeah. And Beto over Lewin still?
I would do, but I don't think he will.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I would do. I'd start Beto. I would have started Beto today over Calvert-Lewin. Probably get shot down again for that, but opinions.
To be honest, the fact that Dyche chose to stick with the team as it was did slightly disappoint me. I did want to see Danjuma from the start today, at the very least. I wasn't as fussed about Calvert-Lewin and Beto personally. That was just I wasn't as fussed. But Danjuma for Dwight McNeil, I absolutely wanted to see today. And he looks. I like Dwight. I'm not going to sit here and dig him out. So I like Dwight. I like the fact he keeps the ball. I like how composed he is. I like how he sees a pass. But he's not fast. He's slow. In a game where Tottenham are going to be quick on the turnover and quicker coming back to us and quick defending and quick going forward, I felt like we needed Danjuma today. I really did. I felt like his pace and that little bit of trickery that he's got, I felt like we needed it. And we didn't.
I think bar on that as well, where all them things you take into account. Also, you've got to take into account Dwight McNeil looks dead on his ass.
He does, yeah. He looks absolute. Yeah. There was a moment, I think it was the 85th or 86th minute, that a corner comes in. It's completely accidental. Tarkowski sort of jostling with Son, and Son steps on his foot or his ankle or whatever. It's not malicious. It's not a penalty. It's just one of those things. And he gets up and he puffs out his cheeks almost as if he's like, I'm finished. Like, he was creamed. And but for me, I'm not expecting to get anything against City, partly because it's Manchester City. But Everton tonight proved that they'll get opportunities. They will get opportunities. And I just think at this moment in time, with the mental fatigue, I think Danjuma is more likely to potentially take one than Dwight McNeil is.
One question I want to ask you before we wrap up, because I do have to go. The shirt pull.
Yeah.
For me, it's a pen.
Yeah, I don't like shirt pulling, full stop. I think they all should be a foul, whether it's outside the box, inside the box.
It's blatant, though. It's shirts away from him.
It was completely blatant today. Like, it was blatant. And
if that's for Tottenham, they're screaming for it, aren't they?
Well, they are. And, if you think about some of the things that have happened over the last few weeks, we've seen we've seen goals not given for fouls on goalkeepers where their shirt's been pulled a little bit, or they've been. I think there was one last night. I think there was Villa against Sheffield United. There was one last
the
night.
Arm, wasn't it? Yeah. Apparently, it was blatantly his arm, by the way.
Yeah, I see these things, and they're so obvious. To me, yeah, it's a penalty. It's a penalty all day because it is a blatant shirt pull. But it's Everton. I mean, it's Everton. If they can find a reason not to give a goal, they would. I have no doubt that the goal that was disallowed for Everton today, we think it's a foul, right? But I have no doubt if that was another team, an Arsenal or a Man City or whoever,
the big six, they get that.
I have no doubt that they get that. I have no doubt they get that. So it's obvious. It's obvious that it's it's against Everton, and they stack up the cards against us, and Everton just consistently beat them down. But fact of the matter is, we will not be moved, and we've proved it again today. We might have lost that game, but Tottenham Hotspur, a team that was sitting very pretty at the top of the league 7 games ago or whatever it was, in my opinion, got away with at least they got away with all 3 points today. But honestly, they should have at most had one. At most.
I mean, Tottenham have gone fourth now, so when you look at it there, Tottenham have gone fourth now, and there's no way for Tottenham to go fourth. And for where Everton should be, forget the points deduction. There's no way there was much difference today, apart from the first 20 minutes.
No, there really wasn't. I just also think Tottenham did look a little bit fitter than us as well. They did look a bit fitter than us, and that is because yes, they've had injuries, but they've still got players they can rotate. They can't play. They can't play some of their forwards, so they played Brendan Johnson. They can't play the Salso, so they can't play Basuma, so they've got the Sal. There's loads of these players in this team where you can
bring quality in, can't they?
But you can. What I'm saying is they can bring more quality than what Everton have got. It might not be Champions League quality, but it might be like 5th, 6th, or 7th. Everton, in my opinion, this team, in my opinion, is overperforming because I don't look at it and go, "You're brilliant." I don't think the strikers are brilliant. I don't think the wingers are brilliant. I think the centre midfield, has one fantastic footballer, which is James Garner, and then I think it's got an okay footballer in Onana and a footballer on the decline in Garner. I think it's got Decore that's playing out of his skin, clearly missed, but again, I don't think he gets in a top 4 side personally. Decore, you've got the 2 centre halves. One, I believe, will be world class. I'm absolutely convinced that kid will be world class, but he's not quite there yet. Mikalenko could play for anyone, in my opinion, in the top 4. I really rate him, although he lost his man today. Tarkowski the same. I think he could play top 6 football. Patterson, he's got a lot to learn. And then Jordan gets disrespected, but the problem is with Jordan, and it is not a dig at him at all, he probably, and it sounds awful me saying this because I'm a big fat John, but he probably is slightly too short. Because, for example, on them penalties on Tuesday, he probably should have saved one or two.
Yeah.
So when you look at the Everton team, what I'm saying is they're probably between 10th and 14th.
We said this, didn't we? We said this 10, 11, 12. Where do we expect to finish?
But they're not a team that could be potentially fighting for Europe, which is where we would be if we had them 10 points back.
Yeah, totally agree. But I think, as you say there, it's a team that are probably playing above where we should be playing and getting performances. We should be getting.
But on the transition, John, and this is what people need to be positive about, and look, we'll end the video on this because we both need to go, but there is a positive because we are where we are now, which means the players have got more confidence than they had 12 months ago. That's abundantly obvious because we're not sitting bottom of the league. We're sitting with a 10 points deduction. We're still sitting outside the bottom 3 by a decent margin. And We've potentially got new owners. We've potentially got we have got a new stadium. You know, the future is bright, and I want Everton fans, us included, to be like, you know what? It might have been shit at times. It might have been rubbish at times. But you know what? We as a fan base, we've kept going. We keep smiling. And up the fucking toffees.
Totally agree.
Up the toffees.
Right. Is this our last video before Christmas now, or are we doing one
We've got
before
we've got a match preview tomorrow if you are available. But if not, I should do it myself.
No, I'll be available at some point. Yeah,
it'll be available Christmas Eve for you guys, won't you? Hey, up the toffees, you dirty.
See, I'd be here Christmas Day, but he wouldn't.
Oh, I would. I would. You can all watch me eat.
Let me get you away from the turkey.
You can hear me slapping my chops like
big leg.
Yeah, look, eating like King Henry VIII.
Looking like the kids who was eating the chocolate cake and what's that? Matilda.
Yeah, Brucey boy.
That's it, Bruce. Go, Bruce. Go, Bruce.
Bruce.
You look a bit like him. I reckon he looks a bit like you now. Now he's grown up.
Do you know what I'm having to do? Look at my hair, everyone. Like, so you see my hair, yeah. Look how far it's receding up here.
Oh my God! It looks like someone's had a shaver on you while you were a kid.
I'm having to instead of doing that now with my head, because my forehead looks massive. I'm having to do like that.
You look better like that, to be fair.
Yeah, do you know
your face doesn't look as fat?
You know what I noticed in the light? I look like I've got lumps here. I look like Quasimodo.
You don't need to do that to look like him. Right, folks, we're wrapping it up.
Yeah, guys, if you don't watch before, have a magical Christmas. I hope you have a great Christmas. If you are struggling mentally, make sure you reach out and speak to someone. Minds is a fantastic charity. There's lots of people who will happily have a chat with you over Christmas, over New Year. So if you are struggling, please reach out. It's always key to me at this time of year because it's it can be rough. Johnny's always here. His phone number will be in the description below, and I will make sure.
Don't. I wouldn't, because I'm telling you now. You know I would.
No, DM us on Twitter, and if you do need us, do need a chat, we are there.
Yeah, everything he said.
Everything he said. He wants to go now. He's got a bottle of Nuki Brown downstairs waiting for him.
I haven't. I've got an order me tea.
Oh, I am. What are you having? Indian, Chinese?
Chinese.
Oh, good lad. What are you going to have?
Beef
Chicken satay?
Beef satay. Beef satay. Extra spicy, because it's like me, hot.
Brilliant. Right, guys.
Right, leave it there.
Honestly, at the end of these videos, I hope people watch. I really do. Right, anyway, Merry Christmas and peace off. Bye.
And a Happy New Year. Piss off.